Cleveland Browns over the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to rush the field.
They're going to rush the
Tear
field.
down the goalpost.
You know we did a segment called Factor Foolish. Remember that? That's absolutely
Don't hit me with it.
That's absolutely
Don't hit me
foolish.
with it.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Boston and Brew. It's your boy Q, joined by the man Jake Jones.
Oh my gosh, I hope you guys are ready. It's season 2,
Yeah.
and Q and I are back in the stew.
In the stew? You coming with bars, bro? It's nice.
We're
It's
ready.
nice.
We're ready.
Season 2 kicking off here at Randolph-Macon. Beautiful, beautiful Ashland, Virginia. And we're coming with y'all on the first week of the NFL season. We come a long way because the last overtime episode we did, we hopped in week 7. And I think we did maybe one more after that. We were kind of inconsistent.
Prepared, man. We are prepared.
We're ready to go this
Let's do it.
football
Let's
season. And we want to say thank you. Thank you for sticking with us. It's about to get really real. So if you don't know how the overtime segments go here at Boston and Brew, I'm going to tell you. We got 5 games. That's 5 quarters. You got first, second, third, and fourth quarter. You got overtime. So we're going to pick the 5 most intriguing games to us and probably to you. Break them down, dissect them all in 30 minutes. That's a challenge.
Is that possible?
I don't know if it's possible. Actually, it is possible.
possible.
If we're doing it, it's definitely possible.
It is possible.
So what 5 games are we looking at this week, Jake Jones?
All right, so to give you the rundown, the first game we're going to go through is Thursday Night Football, first game of the season.
Yeah.
Philly versus Atlanta.
The rematch.
Then we're going to take you over to Cleveland to see Cleveland versus Pittsburgh.
Hard knock life.
Back up north, New England versus Houston. And then our last 2, we got Arizona and Washington.
Yeah.
And then some Monday Night Football with Oakland versus the Los Angeles Rams.
Dang.
This is a good lineup.
Dang.
It's a good lineup.
We're finishing with the $100 million coach, John Gruden. We'll get to that. But let's hop straight into it. Game number 1, Atlanta Falcons versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Thursday night, 8:20 p.m. This is the Super Bowl rematch, ladies and gentlemen.
What? We got that Super Bowl team coming off. They're probably still celebrating in Philly after that. But
I said Super Bowl rematch. NFC
you know what it
Championship
is?
rematch.
It's Atlanta who lost in the Super Bowl the year prior.
Yeah. So
playing against the winner from last year.
Yeah, so there we go.
Yeah, we're close.
I'm knocking the rust off. You gotta bear with me.
We're close.
So do you want to start with the predictions, or do you want to go through some?
We gotta give them a little bit of info. Okay. The predictions gotta wait a little bit.
All right. So, how are we gonna do this?
What we know now is Nick Foles getting the start. The man that took him to the promised land is gonna be out there for the first game, and I mean, this can't be a bad thing for the Eagles fans. I mean, the man won a Super Bowl. I know you want to see Carson Wentz just because he's coming off of a very serious injury. Anyone that tears their ACL can tell you that. But
could have been MVP last year staying healthy.
The more time he has off, the better he's going to be when he comes back. So Nick Foles is getting the start. However, I did see that Alshon Jeffrey's out for the game already.
Yeah.
So that hurts a little bit of their receiving core.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to be confident in the boys. They're coming off a good year.
They are coming off a great year. The defense is they might be just as good or even better than they were last season. I've been down Nick Foles for a long time, and I think by what I'm about to say, you can tell what team I'm rocking with in this matchup. But I've been down to Nick Foles so much that at some point, I mean, he kept proving me right, so I got to go with him. But he didn't look the best in preseason. He was getting beat around. The Cleveland Browns handed it to him. So I don't know, but also that defense. They added Haloti Ngata. They added Michael Bennett, defensive end. They still have Fletcher Cox, who's maybe one of the best defensive linemen in the franchise's history. You got Malcolm Jenkins, Rodney McLeod, Jalen Mills, Ronald Derby. So they got a lot of. If Nick Foles can't be everything he was in the Super Bowl, as they did all last season, that defense kept that team on the straight and narrow.
And you also got to think about the last time these two teams meet were in the playoffs, and this defense held the Falcons to only 10 points in a playoff match.
Yeah.
So at a time where you think the Falcons would give it their all and
they tried
go off as an offense, it wasn't happening in Philly, man. I mean,
but we also have to talk about how the Falcons offense was on a downhill slope, probably like after the halfway mark of their season, because you had the offensive coordinator troubles. You just had like the magic wasn't there. Julio had went how long without a touchdown? Like a long stretch without a touchdown.
Too long for him.
Yeah, Matt Ryan was looking shaky. Yep. The calls it was just a mess on the offensive side of the ball.
But
so
the offense for the Falcons this year, I mean, their first round draft choice, Calvin Ridley. I mean,
he's nice.
That's a new receiver to put into the mix with Julio and Sanu, who the three of them, I mean, that's a three-headed monster right there coming at you. And then you have Devontae Freeman coming back, who is just I mean, he's a good back.
He's not great, but
he's not gonna be a top 3-4 back, but he's a guy that you can give the ball and get a good 5-6 yards in crunch time. So
yeah,
I think it's going to be much better than what the playoff match was last year. But I think I'm going with you on the Eagles on this one, just because being at home, coming off of that championship year, having most of that same defense back, maybe even better. Yeah. So for me, I don't know about you, but in this game, I got it being close, but I got the Eagles up on the Falcons 24-17.
Dude, hold on. This is how you know me and Jake Jones are one and the same. I lied to you not. Jake, I want you to look at what my prediction line is right here. I haven't touched my keyboard since we've been here. What's my prediction?
I haven't even looked at your computer, man.
My prediction is Philly 24, Atlanta 17.
Wow.
And that's crazy.
Are we brothers, bro?
We're on the same page on a lot of stuff, man. It's crazy. But like you were saying, also the Falcons, that defense, they lost Dontari Poe. Dontari Poe was a force in the middle of that defensive line. They lost him. He's now on the Panthers. But they do have Vic Beasley, who's a talented edge rusher. He had one great rookie season. Like, he was looking like the man. The last 2 seasons have just been good, not great. They have a top 10 defense last season. But again, without Dontari Poe, you can't really expect for that to, be back to where it was. And then on the Eagles side of the ball, like I said, they returned the whole defense for the most part, added to that defense. And then let's not forget, their starting running back, Jay Ajayi, only played with them 7 games last year. He didn't get a full offseason with them, and he still did his thing behind the offensive line. He had a full offseason with them this year. And then you have Darren Sproles, that everybody forgets about Darren Sproles. He's the special teams mastermind, quick, can catch out the backfield, make plays. He's going to be full strength. So,
right. And you also know him coming off a year that he missed after being injured. He's angry, man.
He's going to be hungry.
He really wants to be out there and play. He really missed that season, and he's really going to be looking forward to get back on the field.
He missed the Super Bowl season, so I know he's hungry to get back out there. So, like I said, like my boy Jake said, 24-17 Philly. Thursday night, let's go to quarter number 2, Cleveland versus the Pittsburgh Steelers.
We got a new-looking Cleveland Browns, Quinton.
And we got a new-looking Pittsburgh Steelers, too. This is a juicy. We got Hard Knocks.
There's a lot going on with these two teams right now.
Yeah, we got Hard Knocks with the Baker Mayfield and all that stuff going on. Tyrod Taylor. And then you got Le'Veon Bell today. The report came out that he's not even playing in the first game.
Right.
What do you think that does for this team, Jake? No Le'Veon.
I know a lot of you guys out there got a Twitter account, and I don't know if you've been looking or not, but there have been some nasty things being said by Le'Veon's own teammates about him and his decisions to continue to negotiate this contract and, for the most part, just be unhappy with the money he's making and with the contract that he has.
But why don't they just pay him?
He's completely forgetting about a team that he's on that has what they need to make a run to a Super Bowl.
But why don't they pay the man then? He's arguably the best running back in the league.
Oh, I know.
OBJ got paid.
But I think that what he's asking for is something that they can't do.
Is it because he's a running back?
Yeah, it has to be.
Got to be because he's a running back.
It has to be.
Because his production has been unmatched these past 3-4 years. I mean, yes, you got Todd Gurley that's coming up. He's young. Player of the year, offensive player of the year last season. Right. So I can understand, but this is Le'Veon Bell.
It's coming to the point where the Steelers now know that he's not playing around. I mean, missing week 1.
That's serious.
Not even being with the team yet. It's serious. And I think that for them, now's the time to make a decision. You either give the man money or you're out there talking to other teams. I'll trade this guy to you. Let's talk.
I need a percentage. What you think's gonna happen? Give me like a 60-40. Does he play? They pay him,
95%, or 95%. They're going to pay him.
They're going to pay him.
95%.
So it's 5%.
You don't get rid of a guy like that because you're too stingy with the money.
But do you need him?
Yes.
Let's say James Connors comes out. Not saying James Connors is anywhere on the James Connors, shout out, man. Do your thing on Sunday. I just added you to my fantasy team. Not saying he's anywhere near the talent level that Le'Veon Bell is, but you got Juju Smith-Schuster, Ben Roethlisberger, and Antonio Brown. You can say that.
Yes, but they are receivers, man.
But I'm saying, let's say you get a decent output, a top 15, maybe top 20 output by a running back. I don't need a 1,500 yards, 1,300 yards, 1,100 yards. You just get a 1,000-yard season out of James Conner. Do you have to sell the whole farm to pay Le'Veon Bell when you have arguably the best receiver in the game, top 5 quarterback in the game, up and coming wide receiver in the game?
I mean, no, you don't need to. But the thing is, it comes down to whether they truly like this guy and truly think that he is a player that will stick with the Steelers for the rest of his career, because they're not going to give him a contract for 2-3 years, pay him all this money, and then just let him go as a free agent. I think they're going to give him his money, and if they don't, they're going to look to make a trade with a team that they can get either another back that can do kind of what you were saying earlier, or maybe look into a defensive player,
or a bunch of picks,
anything,
and a bunch of picks.
And so I think what you're saying is true. I think someone can step in and get those yards, but Le'Veon Bell's the type of guy that does more than getting yards. I mean, he makes insane plays. He runs for 80 yards on the field. He scores too many touchdowns to count. So I think it's going to come down to whether or not the coaching staff enjoy having him around this organization or not.
See, I don't know what's going on in Pittsburgh, but they've always had the MO of being like the arrogant, not disciplined franchise. That culture is shook. Even when James Harrison left, he took shots saying like, Mike Tomlin is a great coach, but he's not disciplined.
Right. Yeah.
So is paying him that money, and you see his own players are coming out with saying is paying him and rewarding him for his play, but then you're basically saying like, we don't care about your attitude, we don't care about any of that, just come ball. That kind of shakes up the culture. Don't you think that's kind of why they haven't really given him that money? Because his attitude has to come into play here. He's dropping mixtapes.
He's kind of just a number, to be honest. He's dropping mixtapes. He's kind of just a number of touchdowns and a number of yards that you're going to get in the season.
Yeah, and is it worth it?
They're not really looking at him as Le'Veon Bell. They're looking at him as statistics.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking about what you're saying.
Is it worth it? Is the attitude
Is it really worth it? And that depends on what the Steelers' motto is. I'm not a Steelers fan. I don't care too much for the Steelers, but it depends on how they feel in their organization. So
about that culture.
It's going to be. I mean, I've been seeing things where they don't think this man is coming out till week 10.
Yeah.
And if there's a player like Le'Veon Bell in the league that is not playing because of money until week 10, that is insane, because someone like him should be on a team racking up yards and racking up touchdowns, because he can do it all. And if another team doesn't contact the Steelers soon and be like, yo, we will trade with you, does not matter who, you can choose, we want this guy on our team, and no questions asked. Let's get it straight. I think something's gonna have to happen soon, because I'm not waiting here till week 10 to see Le'Veon Bell sit.
It's a sticky situation.
Yeah.
But that's why I had the first pick in one of my drafts, and I didn't pick him. Picked Tom Brady.
Did you?
Can't go wrong with Tom.
Oh, you are my brother.
Two of my drafts, I go Tom Brady first round.
Oh,
it's simple.
God.
Simple as that. But enough about Pittsburgh.
Yeah, let's talk about the Browns a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about the Browns.
I mean,
Tyrod Taylor starting.
You
got Joe Hayden, Artie Burns on that defense. And let's not forget, it's contagious. You got your boy, oh my gosh, I forgot. Jarvis Landry. There we go. Jarvis Landry. Flash Gordon, Nick Chubb, Carlos Hyde. Yeah. On paper,
this Miles Garrett on the Davis Njoku, they've been saying
nice.
He could be the real deal too.
So it's looking good. But
you know what I'm looking forward to in this game, Quentin?
What?
We're probably gonna see the number one receiver in the league go up against the number one draft choice for Cleveland and cornerback out of OSU, Denzel Ward. Now, is he going to be the real deal? This is where we're going to find out. Who knows? Is it worth it the way they picked him so high up in the draft? Who knows? So I'm excited to see this matchup, because he can prove himself to the league that he's the real deal straight out of college. Right away, he can play with these boys.
What do you think he does? Do you think he performs?
Oh, I think he does all right, but he's going up against Antonio Brown, who's due to have
it doesn't matter who's
one or two touchdowns. And I mean, I think he'll make a couple of tackles. I think, he'll be able to, do what a good cornerback can do, but I'm not expecting him to shut down AB at all.
He's not ready. He's not ready. But we've been on quarter two for a very long time. So let's go ahead. Since you did the last prediction, I'm going to go into my prediction. Remember, this game is Sunday at 1 p.m. on CBS. My prediction is Pittsburgh 31, Cleveland 28.
Okay.
So I got them a little. It's a close game, and what I'm thinking is, the Browns have talent. That defense of the Steelers has not been what it should be. They lost Ryan Shazier, an all-pro, Pro Bowl linebacker, and they're replacing him with what? John Bostic, who was signed in free agency. He played all 4 games of the preseason. He's right beside Vince Williams. Like, that's not Ryan Shazier, though.
Right.
So it's a lot of holes, and the defensive back, the secondary has been atrocious. I mean, they got torched all that. Joe Hayden, he was supposed to be the savior to the DB core. He got hurt last year. It was terrible. Didn't they give up 50-plus points in preseason? I think that's the most points they've given up in the history of the team.
Not good.
In preseason, they gave up 50. So they got some questions to be answered. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be very interesting. But at the end of the day, I feel as though Pittsburgh has enough weapons, enough continuity with that roster to pull it out in the end. And it's the Browns.
I actually changed my prediction as I walked into the studio. And,
the studio can do that too.
I see Le'Veon Bell not playing, and I'm looking at Big Ben, and I'm like, does this man even still have it in him? I mean, he's no Tom Brady. He ages for sure. Tom Brady does not age.
Yeah, but
so Big Ben has been showing me
he's been playing
a little bit inconsistent. A little bit inconsistency. So I'm thinking coming into Cleveland on Sunday, these boys are gonna be playing because they got embarrassed last year, didn't do nothing last year. And Cleveland's going to want to do it all. So I'm going.
You're not about to do this.
The Cleveland Browns over the Pittsburgh Steelers with a last-second touchdown pass from Tyrod.
Oh, you're wild.
To Jarvis Landry to win 21-20 at home. They're going to rush the field.
They're going to rush the field.
Tear down the goalposts.
We did a segment called Factor Foolish. Remember that? That's absolutely
Don't hit me with it.
That's absolutely
Don't hit me
foolish.
With it.
That's, my God. That's straight foolish. I just can't see it happen. I can't see it. And we got to remember, Tyrod Taylor is not one of those guys that has been known to stretch the field. So this is all a new dynamic for him, playing with receivers of the caliber of Jarvis Landry. And my biggest question, like I said, I think your statement was foolish. I like it. Let you change it up. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, I'm more focused on if Tyrod doesn't perform. He's a pro's pro. He's a great guy, great demeanor. He's a multi-dimensional quarterback. But how long into the season does it take before the Cleveland Browns fans are looking like, okay, look, we want Baker. Like, this is what we drafted him for. We've seen the Hard Knocks episode. We love the kid. We want to see what our first round pick can do. Like, what type of leash is Tyrod on? And it has to play on the heartstrings and the mental of Tyrod Taylor. You feel like you're better than your backup.
He was sat last year. He was sat
for
last
Nathan
year.
Peterman.
In Buffalo.
In
Buffalo. He was sat.
You know what? I think he does. But like I said, I gave him 28 points. I think he comes out in balls.
Yeah,
I think he comes out in balls. Well. Yeah. But after this week, it's just like it's always going to be an emotional roller coaster.
The Browns are definitely going to be a team that has the quarterback position up every game. You're not going to know who's going to be starting. It's going to be a decision that will come down to the coaches before the game. And depending on how Tyrod does, he'll keep playing. He also may not keep playing. So we'll see.
That's so weird.
But anyway, let's get out of Cleveland and move up to where the boys play. Up in the north, New England Patriots going for another title. They didn't make it last year. They came up a little short. But they're going to have a contest at home against the Deshaun Watson Texans, bro.
Home opener. This is going to be some juice. I'm a huge Deshaun Watson fan.
Oh, I love him too. I love him too.
And I was so upset. We lost Carson Wentz and Deshaun Watson last season.
Same year.
And Odell Beckham and Aaron Rodgers last year.
Deshaun and Carson were two MVP candidates.
And rookies.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
MVP.
Wait, Deshaun wasn't a rookie last year, was he?
Yeah, he was, but Carson was not.
Okay, yeah, so you know what I'm saying. Youngins.
But youngins.
There we go. That's the word I'm looking for.
And I'm just saying, it'll be cool to see if Deshaun can come back and play how he was last year, because as a New England fan, I'm not sure what to expect from the Patriots. I mean, right now, not really sure who's going to take most of the carries between White and Burkhead and Sony Michel, because right now Michel and Burkhead are actually both questionable for the game. I'm sure they'll play, but will they be limited? I'm not sure. Is White going to have to step up a lot? Probably. And so, to me, this game really depends a lot on Deshaun Watson, obviously, because he's coming off of a season-ending ACL injury. So,
and he's a mobile quarterback.
Yes,
so
how is he going to be in the pocket? Is the Patriots defense going to be able to get to him? Is he going to have to come out of the pocket and show off his running ability? Is the running ability still going to be there? I'm sure it is, but it's going to be a little scary, I'm sure, for Texans fans to see this man out on the field first game and just be kind of unsure and not exactly sure what to expect coming out of him in this first game in New England, which is a tough territory to play in it for the first game of the season.
I feel like I'm slowly becoming a New England Patriots fan. It's kind of weird.
I'm growing on you, bro.
I think you are, because I drafted Tom Brady and Gronkowski in my first fantasy draft. And then my other fantasy
draft, take Edelman,
I drafted Tom Brady.
After 4 games,
I couldn't get Edelman.
Number one.
I drafted Tom Brady and Sony Michel in my other league. So I would love to see Sony get some love. But at the end of the day, Tom Brady's Brady, man. I mean, he's age. Isn't that a commercial like a pill for ageless male? Isn't that like a pill or something like that?
So I don't know.
Sometimes
man.
I'm sleeping.
What are you asking?
I go to sleep at like 1 a.m. and got the weird commercials on HBO. Anyway, yeah, he doesn't age. You got Gronkowski. I'm just always gonna go with that combination until they prove me wrong. And even when you go back to the Super Bowl, this man Tom Brady had a phenomenal game. If they win that game, he's the MVP of the Super Bowl. So it's not like Tom Brady has let anybody down. It's, well, the questionable coaching of Bill Belichick, or it's why Malcolm Butler was not in the game instead of whatever corner y'all had in there getting torched. So until the Patriots let me down, which they have not since in my lifetime, they haven't let me down. So I'm always going to ride with the Patriots. Now, is it going to be easy? No. But I trust that system. Deshaun's coming back off of ACL. That defense from Houston, though, nasty.
I was saying, because with them having Watt and Clowney rushing Tom with an O-line that's a little bit weaker than usual.
We lost J.J. Watt's injury last year, too.
I know.
We lost a lot of stars. So hopefully
if they can get to Tom Brady, I mean, look, his receiving core is not what it usually is. I mean, he's already out with Edelman. But they also lost Amendola and Brandon Cooks. Amendola to Miami and Cooks to LA.
You got Chris Hogan.
So they're going to have to rely on players like Chris Hogan, like Cardell Patterson, Gronk, Philip Dorsett. And I think we're going to see Michel become a receiving back because he did a lot of that in Georgia.
That's
and I think that he's a player that can go out and look like he's going to make a block. And then Tom loves throwing those little, 3-4 yard little slip passes, and he can get 10, 20 yards of the field. So
they love to screen you to death, too.
Yes. Yeah. I think this game's going to come down to those little plays like that, but I'm kind of going with Quinton here. You can't go on my man's like that first game of the season.
Not at home.
New England Patriots at home. Very tight game. I'm going to be on the edge of my seat, but the Patriots are going to pull it out 28-24 in front of the home crowd up there in Gillette.
I'm going to go 28-21. I mean, it's going to be close. But like I said, I can't go against New England Patriots. Houston, they're still a very young team, a talented team, nevertheless. Only thing I want to look at, though, for the Patriots is it doesn't matter how good your defense is when the ball is gone before you can make a play. As a defensive lineman, you have to not only, your quick off can be immaculate, your get off can be immaculate, but by the time you make your swim, you rip, you bull, you look up, you're at Tom Brady, but the ball's not there. So it's a well-oiled machine. The ball gets out. It's never held too long. It's not a lot of deep balls, but when it is, they're precise. So it's just a well-oiled machine. The system looks like it's never going to slow down.
Never.
So, I mean, I'm just going to go with that. They have a great defense. It's going to be a great game to watch. I need to get NFL Red Zone. I can watch them all or go on Reddit or whatever I do. But, yeah,
Let's take it out to Arizona, Quinn, to see your boys open up
all day.
First game of the season.
Every day.
How's it going to go? Let's hear it from the man out of D.C.
Well, I'm going to tell y'all this right here. Y'all already know how I'm rocking. First game of the year in Arizona. The best field, the best turf in the NFL. Arizona. Now, I'm looking at the depth chart right here, and I don't get too scared when I look at what the Arizona Cardinals got. They got the quarterback is what? Sam Darnold?
Bradford.
Bradford. They do have Larry Fitzgerald, another ageless wonder. But after that,
what else?
They got Sam Bradford. I said Sam Darnold. Sam Bradford, and then you got Josh Rosen and Mike Glennon. The only thing I'm really concerned about maybe is Larry Fitzgerald getting off on that defense, those defensive backs. And
you're not worried about David Johnson?
I'm not worried about David Johnson.
You're not worried about David Johnson?
Here's why. This Redskins team last season was, I think, week 7 in the NFL. I went back and listened to our old overtime. Week 7 of the NFL, I looked and I made a statement saying the Redskins' rush defense was 7th in the NFL at the time. And that was prior to Jonathan Allen going down with injury. So now you have a healthy Jonathan Allen and a healthy Daron Payne, a run stopper, and you got Tim Settle out of Virginia Tech coming off the bench to rotate in. And you got Ryan
Kerrigan, Allen Payne, and Smith.
And it's nasty.
Oh, my
It's a nasty defensive line.
Yeah.
And then you got the inside linebackers like Zach Brown. it's a really talented front seven.
Right.
Now, when you get past the front seven, you move to the defensive backs. You got Quinn Dunbar, Josh Norman, who's starting to show his age a little bit. He's still an all-pro, but he's starting to look, a little shaky. But you got Josh Norman. Then you got guys like Quinn Dunbar, Monte Nicholson. Those guys are beatable. They're breakable. DJ Spranger, breakable. He's a good tackler, but not the best in coverage.
But they always seem to make those plays at the end of the game.
Who?
I swear to you, man. They always seem to.
I don't know.
They always seem to.
Well, I don't know what games you watch.
I'm just saying, look, you got to listen to me here. With this defense going up against a quarterback like Sam Bradford, I mean, he's like the quarterback known to just rely on 4 or 5 yard passes on 3rd and 8.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't go out of his way to try to make the plays that he needs to get down the field. He just kind of plays for completions.
Yeah.
And he's just not a guy to be worried about.
Yeah.
You got to be worried about David Johnson. I don't know why you're not worried about David Johnson. He's the number 1 player on that entire offense.
But I'm saying, though, the defensive line, that front seven in that box is so well put together that David Johnson, he can be contained. I just think they're going to have to beat the Redskins, they're going to have to rely on throwing the ball through the air. Larry Fitzgerald can have a day, but he's not going to have a crazy day. And you get their second receiver is what? Christian Kirk or
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not anything to be scared of.
Yeah, and the thing that I got to say also about the Redskins is, first of all, you ask me at any time you want, I hate preseason football. I wish it did not exist. And so I think you know what I'm getting to with Geis going down. Actually, in New England, he did. He got injured. He's out for the season. And, I expected him to get majority of the carries for this team.
Oh, absolutely.
So now you see someone like Chris Thompson probably have to step up and be the number 1 guy, who he's pretty good. But now they're signing Adrian Peterson, who I picked him up on fantasy. I think he's going to get carries too.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Adrian Peterson's going to get more carries than Chris Thompson. Chris Thompson is he's the scat back.
He's kind of like the receiving back, kind of like I was saying with Sony Michel.
Yep.
So like with those 2 guys, I think they can make up for the loss in Geis. And you also got Piron coming out. He was kind of like a big boy. He can come through there on the 3-yard line, something like that. So I think they'll be fine. But
I don't even think Piron gets that though. With Adrian Peterson back there,
right? That's what I'm saying too. Like with what they got, I think they can make up for the loss of Geis. And with Alex Smith playing in his debut for Washington, I think he's gonna be really excited to be on a new team. And for me, something else that I wrote down was that these 3 guys, in Josh Doxson, Jamison Crowder, and Jordan Reed, have to evolve into a big 3 and be the main targets for this offense, because other than those 3, it's kind of bare. Yeah. So those 3 have to step up
and be healthy.
The main 3 guys, like I said, 3-headed monster on this team if they want to go somewhere this year.
Yeah. So what's your score prediction looking like?
I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be a lot on the defenses.
Yeah.
But I'm going Redskins pulling it out with a field goal in expiration and winning 20-17.
Okay, I was going 21-17. Okay. So we're about on the same page here.
Okay.
Just like I said, it's not much to worry about once you get past David Johnson. I mean, David Johnson is a talent, probably like a top 5 to 7 running back in the NFL when healthy.
5 to 7.
Yeah. Who's better than you got Zeke, Le'Veon Bell,
David Johnson.
No, you got Todd Gurley.
Who's better than Melvin Gordon?
Okay, then we'll do top 5. Okay, we'll do top 5.
Come on.
You gotta remember he wasn't healthy, so we're getting top 5. Right. So he's a top 5 running back.
You forgot about him because he was out.
When he's out,
all good, man.
So that's what I'm saying. He's the thing to keep your eye on, but after that, it's not really much to worry about. That they have Patrick
offense
Peterson.
Isn't very scary to me. I gotta be honest.
Not at all. And you got Pat Peterson, who's the cornerback on the defense. He's holding it down. So it's got to be. The Redskins struggled mightily on getting the ball in the end zone when in the red zone.
In the red zone, yeah.
And when you bring in a guy like Adrian Peterson, Redskins fans are not going to be mad if they give the ball to Adrian Peterson 3 times in a row and have a run. So you know what I'm saying? That's his MO.
He wants the ball in those situations.
Exactly.
So.
And he's
in
they
a
didn't
situation
have a back
that wanted the ball in those situations before.
Exactly. So. And he didn't have a situation where they wanted to give him the ball
enough.
So it's kind of like a perfect fit. And he's playing on Arizona. This is against Arizona. This is a team that he wasn't on. Yeah. So 21-17. You got 20-17. We're going Redskins.
You want to move into overtime here?
Let's hop into overtime. Let's get
overtime.
Let's get it. We have the Los Angeles Rams versus
in Oakland on Monday night, baby.
Oakland Raiders.
First Monday night football game of the year.
Now, this is going to be quite interesting.
I think so too.
This is the Oakland Raiders with John Gruden, the $100 million man, making his coaching debut in the regular season. But then you got an Oakland team that's was kind of upset. They lost Khalil Mack to the Chicago Bears. They didn't want to pay him.
Exactly.
After you give $100 million to the head coach of that team, you kind of are expecting to find some money for your top defensive player of the year.
They lost their man Crabtree earlier in the year, too.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on there.
I mean, the thing is with Oakland, like, they're always a team in the beginning of the year that everybody hypes up. Like, beginning of last year, I was like,
recently,
damn, Oakland.
It's been like the last
3 years.
4 years.
I was like, damn, Oakland, like, I might have them all the way up to, like, the conference title game or something.
They were the favorites to go to the Super Bowl before Carr got that injury. But then
there's always this time, which always happens around, like, week 7, week 8, where Oakland just starts to play absolute horrendous football. Yeah. And I don't know if it's Derek Carr. I don't know who it is. I don't know if the coaching situation will help it out now. But I think that with Derek Carr, their new weapon in Jordy Nelson, who took place at Crabtree, and now being alongside of Amari Cooper, I think that team should be obviously perfectly fine. I mean, they also got Marshawn Lynch and Doug Martin in the backfield, 2 guys that can run the ball. So what is their problem? Why are they consistently going from a top 5 team to a middle of the pack average team when the season ends?
I know it's leadership was one, which is why they brought in John Gruden, and injuries played a huge factor in why they make that dip down in the middle of the season. I'm interested to see that defense. I feel like that offense has enough firepower to get it done. But when I say get it done, I'm not necessarily talking about this week. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. Down the road, they can get the gears going, but they're playing the Los
That's why I think this is a bad first game for them.
This is a bad first game, but also it's probably Gruden, the way he traded away Khalil Mack, it kind of shows that, like, when you're trading away your top players for picks, it's kind of like a rebuild kind of feel to the team. You know, he's going to be there for 10 years. So
he knows what he's doing.
He knows what
he might know what he's doing.
He has a championship, whether you want to dog that championship or not, whether, you know what I'm saying? So it looks like he's kind of in rebuild mode. Yeah. And
the thing I'm saying is, you know, it's tough to play the Rams first game just because we saw how good they were last year. And Jared Goff already as confident as he is, as young as he is, and now he's got a new addition from New England and Brandon Cooks, who he's the type of guy that can get down the field in a split second. And Goff loves to use that young arm of his and launch the ball downfield. I think him and Brandon Cooks will be perfectly good, like best friends by the end of this year. And I mean, they've got players like Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods in the receiving core alongside of Todd Gurley, who obviously
just listen to those
one of the
names,
best, like one of the best, if the best, running back in the game.
Yeah.
So.
But look at the. I love defense. You know me.
I know.
Aaron Donald, Ndamukong Suh, Marcus.
I don't want to run the ball, bro.
You don't want to do anything.
I don't want to run that ball.
I'm taking knees. I'm not throwing it or running. They got Marcus Peters and Keeps Lee back there. Then you got the front line of Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh.
No, thank you.
Oh my! It's gonna be nasty. Now, if it all clicks together, because these are some big names, it has to work. And I believe Sean McVay is a young, active, intelligent coach, former Redskin, FYI. I think that he is a genius and an up-and-coming coach to be reckoned with.
This
for a
Rams
very long
organization
time.
is a very good team that's still up and coming.
Yeah.
Still have a far way to go. They can be great.
And Jared Goff is young.
Yes.
He's a nice quarterback.
Yes.
He has a very high ceiling. And Todd Gurley, aren't they still both on rookie contracts? Or did Goff get an extension on something wild? But they're still very young.
I think Goff still is. But anyway, it doesn't matter. These two still are going to ball out no matter what.
Oh, my gosh.
And that's why, for me, I mean, I thought about this game a lot, and I wanted to cover this game because I wasn't sure if maybe these two defenses could maybe have a game of their own. But I just think that with that power the Rams have this year and kind of the confidence that they have now, knowing what they're able to do and seeing themselves, you know, I think they were very upset losing to Atlanta in the playoffs last year because Atlanta was a team that kind of snuck in. They weren't really the team they were the year before.
They weren't.
And I think the Rams could have done some damage in Philly that the Falcons just didn't show up and play. So I think the Rams are out for revenge this year. They're going to go for Super Bowl or bust this year.
Definitely.
And so I got the Rams winning 27-17. You know, a 10-point win.
That's it?
Not very close throughout the whole game. So.
I got them hanging 35 big ones. 35. But this defense, the Raiders defense doesn't have anything. They don't have anything. They lost their defensive player of the year. This team is in shambles. They're looking like they're in recovery mode or rebuild mode. you're talking about Todd Gurley, Jared Goff, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. These guys can flat out. I got them hanging 35 big ones, and I got 17 points for the Raiders. Simple. That's all I'm giving them.
That's
17.
That's all I gave them.
That's just
generous. That's actually generous.
That's
generous.
Look at the if it works.
Yep.
If it works, and I believe this is a well-coached team.
Yep.
Like I said, they should be disciplined. Everybody's seeming to buy into Sean McVay as a coach. If it works, it's nothing you can do with that.
And
team.
this game for the Rams, depending on how they play, is going to show the rest of the league, the rest of the world, how confident they really are this year.
Yeah.
And it's going to show them how serious they are about when I say Super Bowl or bust. Like, they mean that. They've probably been saying that throughout camp.
They made these moves specifically to contend for a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
And especially with all these players on rookie contracts, they took a page out of Seattle's
They moved
notebook.
to L.A.?
They moved
They're
to L.A.
Los Angeles? Come on.
They're buying into this Super Bowl or bust year
Exactly.
because after this year, you got a whole bunch of one-year deals.
Right.
This is the most financially
And that's also 2 years down.
Yeah.
So they're like, look, we know we can do, like, oh my. I'm
If
actually
we
very
could do
excited
what we
to see what
did
this team
last
can
year
do this
without
year.
the defense
Right.
and a young offensive talents that we have, a whole offseason with these Pro Bowlers and these All-Pros, veterans on the defense, and another year of camp, camaraderie, they should be able to do some real damage next year.
Just
a healthy
being in a locker room
team.
together. I mean, it's scary for them other teams
It's
out
scary.
there.
The Rams,
scary.
the Rams, that's a scary team. But that was what we at 35.
A little
okay,
over.
we're a little rusty.
over.
We're a little
Little
rusty,
over.
but it's all good.
We had to talk to you guys
minutes.
today.
Overtime, episode 1 of season 2. We'll be back next week.
Boston and Brute.
Boston and Brute, full effect. We're gonna recap what we got right and what we got wrong. So until next time, it's been your boy Q, joined by the man Jake Jones.
Peace.
We'll holla at you.
Ice cream paint job. Got screens on the dash, what to say by the bill, got a house by the bayside.